Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and this is part two to the FCC complaint, asking the FCC or urging the FCC to withhold the 2.5 winnings from auction 108. So, in this video, in this part two, I wanted to make this about or take it from the AT&T perspective because a lot of people are questioning why did AT&T even submit this complaint, because it's likely not going to get approved. There's no way that the FCC is going to grant AT&T to withhold 2.5 from T-Mobile. T-Mobile already paid for the spectrum. The auction already ended. So there's no way the FCC is going to reverse course at this juncture. But what does this do for AT&T? AT&T is playing the long-term game. AT&T is playing a very, very similar game that T-Mobile played. Now, a lot of you might say, what game is that? Well, the complaints. What did T-Mobile do during LTE? They complained that they couldn't compete. They complained that they didn't have enough spectrum to compete in the more rural parts. They complained they needed low band. And then the FCC slowly but surely, they did start pivoting and moving some certain rules and regulations that favored, more of T-Mobile, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? They were able to compete in the 600 megahertz auction, right? They ended up getting the Sprint merger approved. So that's something that T-Mobile has been doing for a very long time. Now AT&T is doing it. Now you may say, why is AT&T doing it? They got all this money. Well, for one, there isn't another spectrum auction set for a very long time. So AT&T doing this complaining may speed up that process. We don't know, but it may make the FCC take AT&T serious, and then the FCC brings out more spectrum, right? In the next proposed spectrum auction, potentially, right, they could tell T-Mobile, like, hey, look, there's too much imbalance here. You guys, we need you to stay, out of this auction, or they may tweak the auction rules to where it doesn't really favor T-Mobile. That's what I think. And I was talking to the tech extremist as well. I will leave a link to his channel in the description down below. And he had a very, very similar view. That is potentially what AT&T is trying to do. They're trying to tell the FCC, hey, this is not right. We need you guys to adjust and make an adjustment. And if the FCC reviews it and they see it and they say, well, wait a minute, it really is an imbalance, they may act on it very quickly. We may have, at that point, another spectrum auction in the mid-band range in the next 2 years, right? That's just an example. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I think that is what AT&T is trying to, they're trying to get that moving much faster than at the current projections, that what people are projecting, that there isn't another auction till maybe 2030 or the next decade. So that's what AT&T, I think, is trying to accomplish. Maybe, right? And I'm going way off the deep end here. Maybe, they're trying to set up a purchase or an acquisition of merger with Dish. Now, this is me going completely off the deep end, speculating at this point, but AT&T coming in like, hey, look, for competition's sake, we need this Dish spectrum or this merger if there is no other spectrum that's going to be available in the short term or midterm. So those are just some of my thoughts. That's the perspective I'm taking. I'm taking it from the AT&T perspective, because AT&T probably has a very good understanding that this complaint is not getting granted. But they keep doing it. They keep sending it in because they know that they have a long-term goal that they're trying to achieve. And of course, we don't know what that is, but of course, more spectrum is always helpful. The Dish merger potentially could happen. I don't know. I'm really going off the deep end here with that one. But again, that's what I think AT&T is trying to do. And like I said in the previous video, let's not kid ourselves. T-Mobile does have a boatload of spectrum. They have they have enough spectrum to secure their spectrum leadership throughout 5G, especially as that utilization increases of mobile devices moving to the 5G network, and they can increase the channel size and move that spectrum off of LTE. I mean, the PCS, the AWS that they have, it's a really good place for T-Mobile to be in when we're talking capacity, speed. Of course, fixed wireless access fits into that as well. And since they had that head start, they can probably accomplish this a lot faster than AT&T and Verizon ever will. And the fact that AT&T and Verizon have 36-month leasing probably affects them a little bit more than they're willing to admit, because now if you're locked in on an iPhone 11 or 12, well, the 12 can take advantage of some of the 5G, but in the future, to fully aggregate and take advantage of everything, I mean, 1024 QAM's coming. You're going to need newer devices, and a lot of people are still literally paying on their iPhone 10 or iPhone 11 because AT&T moved over to a 36-month, and Verizon as well. They moved over to a 36-month financing model. So that's just the take that I wanted to give. My opinion on the whole situation. Like I said, if AT&T was really that concerned, and this complaint really goes nowhere else, and they just don't want T-Mobile to get 2.5, then they could have easily outbid T-Mobile in the 2.5 auction. You guys that follow the channel faithfully, you've heard me say T-Mobile did not spend enough for 2.5, and AT&T and Verizon did not make them spend enough for 2.5. I preached that religiously. And, it was mainly overlooked. But like I said, the fact that T-Mobile paid so little for that spectrum allows them to invest in other things that they may have not been able to if the auction price was raised. But they're AT&T and Verizon right now, other than this AT&T complaint, they're allowing T-Mobile to walk around very freely. And like I said, right now, if you look at the numbers, the projections, it favors T-Mobile. T-Mobile told us exactly how this would go. Once the Sprint churn is down, once the integration is mainly completed and everything settles in back to normal, that they would be the growth leader again. And that's exactly what happened in this Q3. They had the most gains, and they will likely continue getting the most gains quarter after quarter. They're taking rural share. They told us they went from 13 to 15% already just off of national marketing. They want to get to 20% by 2025. They will likely get there. And then the people say, well, where's that going to come from? A lot of that MNO area in rural is market share wise, it's held by AT&T and Verizon in those parts. So they're going to take share from those two in order to get to that 20%. So that's what I'm saying. It's a very, very positive, successful playbook that they're taking from the metro core into the rural environment, and it's working. And it's making AT&T send out complaints like this because T-Mobile has a lot of 2.5. It makes them very flexible. Once we get more suburban / rural, more households are going to be able to sign up for home internet. Whereas the sectors in the metro core, maybe 20, 25 people are going to be able to sign up for home internet. In the rural environment, that may be 50 to 100. Who knows, right? So there's a lot more flexibility in those parts. And I know for a fact in some of those parts, AT&T does have wireline and DSL customers that may end up on T-Mobile because T-Mobile has that aggressive spectrum position. Now, also keep in mind, if that's the case, AT&T should be worried about Verizon too, because Verizon will slap about 200 megahertz of C-band in those parts as well. So they're going to get a double whammy from fixed wireless access. So just let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading them. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel for more. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.